Hello and welcome to EVN Report. My name is Maria Titizian and we have a very special guest, Serj Tankian, who is here in Armenia following what many have called the Velvet Revolution. Actually, he was here the day that Nikol Pashinyan, opposition leader, was elected Armenia's interim prime minister. Serj, you've been a long-time supporter of all things Armenian, from Armenian genocide recognition to the empowerment of Armenian statehood. And you came at a time just before we saw the culmination of this stage of the movement. Why did you feel it was important for you to be here, other than the fact that a lot of people wrote asking you to come?
A lot of people wrote from day one asking me to come. Nikol called and asked me to come and support the movement because, honestly, I've been supporting the empowerment, as you put it, of Armenian youth for many years and creating a just system for our people in Armenia to reverse depopulation, to create a more egalitarian state, and all of the things that are reforms that are prerequisites to a progressive state growing in a positive direction for our people. So I wanted to come. I was actually really sick. I'm still getting over this horrible flu, and I couldn't get on a plane. My whole family was sick, and so I was trying to participate as much as possible by not just following, but also disseminating information, social media, sending videos out to kind of speak directly to the youth, engaging in that sense. And then when I was able to come, obviously, I flew in, and it just so happened that it was the day before that Nikol Pashinyan was elected prime minister. For me, it's been an incredible experience. I mean, I'm so happy that I've been here to witness the kind of joy and exhilaration and the elatedness on people's faces. I've never seen so many happy people in one place, anywhere, in my whole life. I mean, it is just, I'm telling friends, I'm like, you got to come see this because it is such a unique thing. It's so beautiful seeing people realize their own power. Power, I've always said, is like a commodity. Its value is defined by agreement among people, saying that, once people agree that there is no power, that power diminishes. And so that's what exactly happened. People just got tired. It was the right time. The bullet hit the bone. And luckily, the turn of events worked out. And Nikol and a team of amazing young organizers were able to maneuver those feelings, those passions, into a peaceful revolution.
Obviously, as we said, this isn't the first time that you've been engaged directly. You were here last year for the parliamentary elections, and you were, you and your group of colleagues, let's call them Arsene Khanjian, Adom, Goyan, Eric, Nazarian, and Berberian. What is your take on the diaspora's sort of take on what's been happening? Or their engagement with what's been happening?
This is the most engaged I've ever seen the diaspora. We've as a group, Justice Within Armenia, and all of the people that came to monitor the elections a year ago, we were all really disenfranchised by the results of the elections, and we were disenfranchised by the disentanglement of the diaspora with Armenia overall over the years. This is the first time that I see diasporan friends, people from all over the place, not having any sleep over the last 2 weeks because they're following the live transmission of the Velvet Revolution in Armenia, and they are engaged, they are happy, they're elated, they want to come. I've never seen such excitement toward Armenia by the diaspora, and this is exactly the spark that we've been looking for in the diaspora for direct engagement with Armenia. People want to know how they can help, people want to know how they can be involved. Like, this is the perfect time to really lock that in, and I think Pashinyan and his people do realize that momentum is not just in Armenia, but it's in the diaspora as well, and there's an overwhelming feeling of how do we capitalize upon this to create a positive mechanism for Armenia's growth.
One final question before I let you go, because you have a lineup of reporters here.
One thing I do want to say about the diaspora before we finish is, to me, the disappointment with the diaspora over the years has been in not only not understanding the actual problems within the Armenian society, but even when they do understand that they hold on to the power. In other words, whether it's the head of the Armenian church or whether it's the head of Armenian organizations that basically colluded willingly or unwillingly, consciously or subconsciously with the power structures, understanding, knowing fully that they were illegitimate in terms of the eyes of the people and unjust and corrupt, I have a hard time forgiving that. I have a hard time dealing with stuff like that. As an artist, I always speak the truth, whether it's on the side of power or not, whether it's, publicly acknowledged or not, whether public opinion is on our side or not. And that's how Armenian diasporans should be, that they should be always on the side of the people of Armenia, not on power structure. So right now, they shouldn't be focusing on the new government, the new prime minister. Let's not make this iconic. Let's not make this about being saved by someone. Let's say that the people saved themselves, and let's respect that true democratic movement.
You answered my final question. Serj Tankian, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being in Armenia and continuing to support the democratic efforts of the people of Armenia.
Merci, John. Thank you.